What is the James Hardie Alliance Contractor Program? I'm Corey Goetz with UHQ Construction. This is Dave Shelton. We're here talking today a little bit about what is this Alliance program and how does it work? There's different tiers to it. So let's get into it. So Hardie used to have, it was called the Alliance Contractor Program. It's actually now just called the Alliance Program, right, Dave?
That's correct.
So they kind of changed it up in the last year. We're shooting this in 2025, FYI. So end of 24, beginning of 25, they made some changes. They just kind of rebranded it more than anything. A ton didn't really change. So what is it, right? So the first step is what do you have to be as a contractor to be in the Alliance program? So all members must be professionally licensed. So licensed in the area that you work, fully bonded. You have to maintain liability insurance of at least $1 million per occurrence. You must have a workman's compensation insurance for your workers, and then pass background checks. So that's the bare minimum. That's what you got to have, which is not a huge barrier, right?
No, not at all.
Most contractors are going to be licensed, have insurance, bonded. Those used to be big selling points, right? But now it's just that's everybody.
This is absolute bare minimum.
Yeah, very few contractors don't have that. But so there's different levels to it, right? So they've broken into basically 3 tiers. They call them the Select, Preferred, and Elite. So the Select tier is a pretty base tier, right? So they say, this is according to the Hardie website, is the tier includes a range of experienced contractors who have consistently demonstrated skills and abilities to complete projects with Hardie products. Members gain access to James Hardie leads, a listing on the contractor locator, and co-branded marketing leads. I think there's actually even a tier before this where it's just you're part of the program, right? Where any contractor can reach out to Hardie and get into this program, right, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, we see it all the time when we're recording against other companies.
Yeah, it's their first time. Hardie wants to help sell more projects. So, that's part of the Hardie strategy is Hardie wants to get as many contractors selling their product as possible. And it makes sense, right? You sell siding, there's tons of roofing contractors, not as many siding contractors, right?
Yeah, but they're casting a wide net. They think that, if you are good at it, you are going to keep on growing, and they grow in the same process.
Yeah, 100%. Rather than in central Indiana, a lot of roofing contractors sell vinyl siding. Super easy to put up, right? So it's well, if they can get one of those vinyl jobs to go Hardie and they get 30 contractors to do that, now they've got 30 more Hardie jobs they're going to do in a year. So, basically the requirement then is to get into is just a general knowledge of Hardie siding and installation best practices. So it doesn't necessarily mean you've done any Hardie.
Yes, and I've seen jobs that these guys have done.
Yes, and not all of them look great. Then there's the preferred level. So a preferred member at this tier have demonstrated a track record of quality and years of experience with James Hardie projects. So they have a close affiliation with the company and a history of delivering great results. So basically the way this works is there's the entry tier where you may not have done any Hardie. Then you go up to the preferred tier, which means you're doing some Hardie. So when it comes to this program, it really has to do with quantity and satisfaction. So at this tier, you're probably doing 12 to 20 jobs a year of Hardie siding, because they do it by square footage. So if they did if one contractor does 10 huge houses, it'd be similar to doing 20 normal size houses.
Yeah.
So, it's a step up. Preferred is just hey, we're doing Hardie consistently, or at least last year we did a fair amount of Hardie projects. And then there's the top tier, right?
Yeah.
This is like the creme de la creme, right?
That's what we are.
The elite, yeah, elite with the UHQ, right? So this is the highest level granted to seasoned exterior professionals with the most expertise and experience, often an affiliation of over 10 years. Elite members receive the highest level of support, visibility, and benefits, including one-on-one business planning.
Okay.
This is much more in depth. And like, we have been an elite contractor now, I think like 7 or 8 years as UHQ Construction. And we work very closely with James Hardie. You know, they're going to do more for us than they do for a preferred or for a select. You know, they're great. They back us up really well. But the other big thing is it's based off volume, right? So like an elite preferred contractor, like when they say they're a seasoned exterior professional with the most experience and expertise, that's because we do the most of it.
Yeah.
Right. So
It's most of the work we do.
yeah. So like the way I'd look at it is like what a select is like entry level. I'm not saying they're going to do a bad job, just saying they haven't done much of it. Then a preferred is like, okay, I'm doing some, but this isn't necessarily what we're doing every day.
Yeah, they just happen to sell it, perhaps.
Yeah. And then there's the elite, which is like, we focus on this. We are doing Hardie siding jobs, usually multiple siding jobs every single day. Like we eat, breathe, and sleep this. We have systems and processes, checklists that ensure we're doing a high level of installation. Because at the end of the day, Hardie siding is maybe the hardest siding to install. And if you don't install it correctly to the manufacturer specifications, what happens, Dave? You see this out in the field all the time.
First of all, it's not under their warranty anymore.
Yeah.
If it's not installed up to their specifications, there is no warranty. You know, it's not going to be installed right, so you're going to have issues.
Yeah.
You know, and it might take time for you to even see these issues. That's the biggest thing I see. It's especially these new construction homes that, you know, 3 to 5 years down the road, and they're having issues, and they're like, well, what do I do? Well, typically, these new construction homes only have a 1-year warranty from the builder.
Yeah. And we go to so many houses that are only like what, 2 or 3 years old, and their siding's falling off because it was high nailed and they're having issues.
Yeah.
So why, Dave, why would somebody want to choose an elite preferred contractor or, you know, elite contractor over a preferred contractor or, you know?
You know, I think the biggest thing that helps me when I'm selling a James Hardie project is, you know, I have a list of hundreds of addresses where I can send them to drive by and take a look at the work we've done. We have a proven track record of being able to install it right, and then standing behind our work for the life of the product, which is 30 years. That's our lifetime warranty.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look at it, I think an elite contractor should mean that you're ensuring that your siding project is handled by the manufacturer's top tier, most qualified professionals, right?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, at the end of the day, should give a homeowner like peace of mind. They know they get an expert install, and then that full warranty, like knowing that, hey, this got installed to the Hardie install spec, and like now I've got a warranty.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
if it's not, there's no warranty, and Hardie goes, that's an install error. Go back to your contractor.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, that's the big thing, right? Like you get an expert, somebody that's like knows how to install it, has gone extensive training. You know, we comply with the best practices, you know, and avoid the common mistakes, right? Because there's so many easy common mistakes that we see when we go out there, right? Like what are some most common mistakes that you see that are done by contractors that are not elite contractors?
Improper storage of materials. They leave them out, they get wet, and then they install them. They shrink on the wall.
Yeah.
Not painting cut-ins. When after you make a cut on James Hardie, you seal back up with paint.
Yeah.
No starter strip. That's the biggest one I see in all these new homes. Which it affects the rest of the siding above it, especially lap siding. It's installed from the bottom up. Then you have you know, improper flashings. You know, there's a million things, but those are the main ones that I see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like high nailing and low nailing. That's another one.
Yeah, high nailing and low nailing. So it's so easy to make a mistake. And as a homeowner, you may not know this, right? Like how many times does the homeowner have no idea until like the problem arises and, oh, this job was done 2, 3, 5 years ago and now it's failing because they don't know what they're looking at the time of install and they trusted the builder or the contractor. It may be out of warranty, right?
I mean, it's already out of warranty because it wasn't installed right.
Yeah.
So, you know, the big thing is like, even as an expert, like sometimes it's hard for me to tell exactly what they did wrong until we have to tear it off and we can see.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Warranty protection. I mean, I think that's a big reason, a big benefit of choosing a Hardie contractor is you know it's going to get installed right. And now you maintain that 30-year non-prorated warranty because that's one of the best parts about Hardie, right?
Yes, it's unmatched.
Comes with a 30-year non-prorated. There's no other siding in the market that's the same, but it's only if it's installed properly.
Yeah.
So if the install isn't done right, you lose the warranty. And then I think the other advantage of choosing an elite contractor is you get a proven track record. Like, I mean, this contractor has to be doing around a minimum of like 30 to 40 jobs a year to hit the quantity needed to hit elite. Mm-hmm. So they're probably going to have some reviews one way or the other. So it's like a proven track record of like this person is doing it and they're doing a good job. And typically what Hardie wants to see out of their reviews is a 90% customer satisfaction rating or higher. Now, Hardie used to only track the contractors on that through a company called Guild Quality, which is like a third-party review company. They do reviews. But, you know, at the end of the day, like nothing against Guild Quality, but we call it review gating, where like a contractor's, if they don't think they had a good experience with that homeowner, then they'll just not send them a review. That isn't like Google. Google reviews are so much better because you can't have them removed.
Yeah.
So it's like a Google review. If they have a bad experience, they're likely to go on there and share that review. And so it's harder, I think, for Hardie to measure the 90% customer satisfaction rating because the contractor may be doing roofing and windows. And so you can't just like sum up all the reviews on their website because that may not be an accurate depiction of what's the customer satisfaction of the James Hardie jobs.
Especially for companies that mainly do roofing. I mean, if they're not elite, you got to assume that most of their reviews are not going to be about James Hardie installs.
100%. And I think the other big part about an elite contractor is just the product knowledge. Like if you're dealing with this product every day, you know the ins and outs, you know the details. And if you don't, you know exactly where to go and get a quick response and get back with that customer. Where, you know, if you're a preferred or just a select, like they may not have that, right?
No.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, what is the Alliance program? I mean, it's designed to help homeowners see what tier is this contractor. Now, I'm not saying like just because somebody is a select and they're just into the program doesn't mean they're not going to do a good job.
Yeah.
But is it riskier to choose somebody that's doing a low volume of Hardie siding, or is it more risky to choose somebody that's doing a high volume of siding? How do you know you have that peace of mind? Because I mean, Hardie siding is pretty expensive. I mean, compared to vinyl, it's what, like twice as much?
At least.
So, you know, I think most people want to know, like, hey, are you accredited with this manufacturer? Like, what's your volume level? And you should at least be considering, you know, if you're getting, you know, if somebody does your roof and they're a select in the Hardie Alliance program, I think it's fair to go call up one of the elites or two of the elites and have them give you some quotes and say, like, am I going to get the same experience here?
Yeah, I mean, I see it all the time. The way that we quote things is completely different from other companies, even other elites. So, you know, it's just a matter of do you feel comfortable, and you know, what is the risk of not going with someone who knows what they're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you have one thing to say about this. Just because a contractor is an elite doesn't necessarily mean that like they're doing the best job. Like, because a lot of homeowners like, well, I called out 3 elites. Now I'm just comparing apples to apples. So now I'm down to just comparing it on price.
Yeah.
I don't think that you are comparing apples to apples. And I'll give you an example. We're not going to name any names here, but we have a job we're actually on right now, and we've seen this multiple times from another elite contractor in our market here in Central Indiana. They got bought out by private equity. They lost some of their main people in their company.
Started their own company.
So they started their own company, which is now going out of business from what I've heard through the grapevine. I mean, I know that like 2 of the owners have left the company out of 4. But anyway, so this elite contractor got bought out by private equity. They went out and they lost all their good people, and they did a really bad job on a project. Dave, you went out and sold it. I mean, what did you see that was wrong? And this is elite. This is the top tier. So it's not to say a top tier can't make a mistake, but what were the issues you saw in that project?
I mean, just about every mistake you can make, they made. I mean, they started the siding at the wrong level. It was going out past their foundation about 4 to 6 inches.
Yeah, the trim boards are going too far down.
Yeah, and the siding. There was no starter strips. They were high nailing, low nailing. They were over nailing.
Yeah, I was there yesterday when we were tearing it off for the first day, and I mean, it was just every nail was too high. And if you don't know about this, like if you nail the siding too high with Hardie lap siding, it won't toe down the bottom of the board. It'll kind of like clap and be too loose.
Their solution for that was to try to seal the bottoms of the lap siding to the board below.
Yeah, which is not required, and it actually prevents drainage on the bottom of the lap.
Well, it failed anyway, so.
Yeah, it did fail. And even worse, like, I mean, when we started getting underneath the decking of this project, we found that water was getting in behind because of this poor workmanship and getting their brand new insulation wet.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like getting into their wall. It was causing mold. So, we're not going to name any names. I will say there's like an ongoing lawsuit there between the two. And we're not here to pick sides. We're just here to do a good job. But you just got to be careful, especially with private equity coming into this roofing space. I think the average homeowner may not realize this. Private equity is coming in strong into the roofing space. They're buying up companies. So you got to be careful that you're getting a local company, because that's the thing is private equity could buy a company in a different market and be an elite in the original market. And now they get that status there as well.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden they're elite. Now, that wasn't the case in the situation we were talking about. They had built a really good business, but when private equity came in, the business,
they lost all their good people.
They couldn't maintain the good people that were building that.
The difference between someone who knows how to install a roof and someone who knows how to properly install James Hardie are 2 different things.
Yeah, it's much easier to install a roof. The roof systems are very simple, and if you have an issue, like easy to fix. Plus, it's like a roof is way up here. Like most people are not going on the roof to like look at every detail. Like siding and windows, like those are right there in front of you. Like it's easy to see the issues if it's not installed properly. So you gotta be careful, because just because they're elite doesn't mean they're gonna be flawless or perfect.
I mean, and you talked about apples to apples. I am up against other elite contractors all the time, and our estimates are never the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the way the proposal looks, the detailed breakdown, I think that's one of the things that we do. That's why a lot of people will choose UHQ Construction for their project, is we do such a detailed outline of our estimates where it's like, here's everything that you're getting, and this is where it's going. Where a lot of other contractors, they may have like a 20-page proposal, but most of it's just salesy, right? Yeah. And it doesn't, and then they get to the like price, it's just a paragraph.
Yeah.
A paragraph and a price. It doesn't tell you how many trim boards. They may say this is how many feet.
They don't sell them by the foot.
Yeah, they don't sell boards by the foot. They sell them 12-foot boards. So it is important to know, like, even at the elite level, like, you got to be careful. I mean, there's 2 ways also, like there's 2 common types of Hardie, right? The most common these days is a pre-finished product. And that's because homeowners want the warranty of the pre-finish. They don't want to have to keep painting it.
Yes.
And one of the largest elites here in the market, they love to do primed and painted.
Yeah.
Because it's like drywall versus finished cabinetry, right? Like drywall, you can screw it all up. You put some mud over it. you sand it, you mud it, you sand it, and then you paint it and it looks good.
Yep.
Right? Cabinets, you can't do that, right? Like if you nick the corner of a cabinet, you can't just like put a little wood glue on the corner and it's going to look fine.
Yeah, you're sending it back to the manufacturer to have them remake it.
100%. And so there are kind of elites in our market that stay in that old school, like, okay, we're going to just do prime and paint. And there's nothing against them, but it's easy to cover up issues that way.
Well, yeah, and also you don't have to hire a skilled labor. So
yeah, and then we see other elites in the market. What they'll do is they won't order all of the proper trim. They'll do some primed and painted, not tell the homeowner up front,
especially with
soffits. And then the homeowner is now thinking they're buying it pre-finished with a 15-year warranty, and then they get it and it's primed, and the crew's out there painting it, and they really don't have that warranty from Hardie. We're like, with us, we make sure it's all pre-finished if we sell you pre-finished.
If we quoted it pre-finished, it's going to be pre-finished.
100%, 100%. So, I hope that's been helpful for you. We want to talk through, like, what are you looking at when you're looking at Alliance Contractor, and like, what are the differences in there? At UHQ Construction, we want to make sure that you don't have a bad install, because there's nothing worse than paying for a project twice. We can introduce you to customers that have had to do that, where they buy because maybe the price was a little bit lower from the competition, and then it doesn't go well. And
they call us the next year.
They call us, and then we've got to replace the whole product. So, you don't want to be in that situation where your product's failing. And so you want to make sure you have that peace of mind. And at UHQ Construction, we do our best to make sure you get that. You can always call us, call our office, visit our website, check out our Facebook page, and just reach out to us. We don't do high pressure sales. I think that's what makes us different here at UHQ Construction.
I would be terrible at that.
Yeah, absolutely. No high pressure sales. We're going to be honest with you and give you a quality job. We'll walk you through all the details. Like, if you're just looking for the cheapest price, like, we may not be the best fit for you. Now, if you're looking for the most value for your project, like, we can definitely help with that. Yes. We've got tons of 5-star reviews on Google. We've got 2 offices, one in Carmel, one in Greenwood. We cover up to 60 miles outside of 465. So if you're looking to get a James Hardie project done, we are at the elite status. We've been there for 7 or 8 years now. We've been in the program for over 10 years. So we'd love to come out and give you a quote if that's something you're looking at and you're interested in getting a siding project done. UHQ Construction's uniqueness stems from its unrushed, honest quality philosophy. So UHQ stands for unrushed, honest quality, which translates into basically a customer-centric approach focusing on transparent communication, expert craftsmanship with top-tier materials, and comprehensive service offerings backed by a lifetime workmanship warranty.
That's right.
That was a mouthful.
Yes, it was.
But
what does it mean?
What does it mean, right? So, like, UHQ, we try to be different, right? When I started this company 10 years ago, I was like, I'm not going to name this Goetz Construction, right? Like, I want to be different than all of the competition, right? Which is high pressure sales, lying to customers. I've been in the industry for 25 years now. I've seen tons of lying to customers. And then quality. Like, when I worked for other companies in production, I would deliver a quality job and the homeowners wouldn't even know, because nobody explained to them up front, this is what a quality project should look like. Mm-hmm. So when I started the company, it was like, hey, I want us to take our time, no high pressure sales. Let's be honest, and let's give people a quality job. So, I think with the UHQ Construction philosophy, the core principle emphasizes delivering precise, high quality work without rushing projects and ensuring lasting results and building trust with clients.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, one of our biggest lead sources are repeat customers and referrals.
Yeah. I mean, and those customers that we make happy tell all their friends.
Yeah, because they trust us.
Yes.
And that's like part of the goal at UHQ Construction. That's what makes us unique. I mean, how many horror stories do people know about contractors, right? Where it's like, got a bad job, know somebody that got a bad job, don't trust contractors. Like Dave's a project consultant. So we don't really have salespeople here because we don't have high pressure sales. So Dave's a project consultant. He goes out, he meets with the customers, and he figures out what they need. He puts together estimates, usually multiple estimates, right?
Yes, typical.
Which is much different than our competition.
Yeah.
And you see it. Like, I mean, how many times are customers like, I've had a horrible experience, and they may not like trust you initially when you walk in the door.
I mean, I understand why people are wary, and they tell me the stories of whether it was a different trade. Like we just had a guy who had a floor installed, and he had to GC his own project in order to get it done, and it still wasn't right.
Yeah.
So he was, it took him over a year in order to come on board and go with us.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, you can't blame them. Like, we see so many of it. I mean, according to the Better Business Bureau, 80% of homeowners taking the lowest bid have issues just getting their projects completed, right? Not that it's done right, not that it looks good, but just issues getting the project completed. And we all know horror stories about contractors, and
if it hasn't happened to you, you at least know someone it's happened to.
yeah, absolutely. Another thing about UHQ is like, we try to be transparent and proactive with our communication. So like, we want to make sure that our customers are informed through the life cycle of the project, not just like, we're going to sell you something and badger you until you buy. We don't do that, first off. But like, we want communication from the time somebody asks for an estimate to the final walkthrough when they're happy. And we do this through certain systems and processes. We have a process called the hot sheet. The hot sheet allows us to come out. One of the things we do that's different is we do a pre-build inspection. So most contractors in the residential setting, they're going to like come out and they're going to say, hey, buy here. And then all of a sudden that guy, you never see him again. And then the production comes in and they go, all right, here's what we're doing. This is what's on the contract.
Yeah.
With UHQ, we do what's called a pre-build inspection, where the sales team, whether it's Dave as a project consultant or another project consultant, and then somebody from production or myself, the owner, I come out to most of these.
Yeah, he does.
And we look at the project and we go, okay, this is what we sold. This is what we did. But what are the important things? Like, these really range. Like, what's important to a homeowner?
Yeah, I mean, we don't want you working on these dates. We don't want you messing up this part of our landscape or all of our landscaping.
Yeah. Can you communicate with me well so my pets can get taken to daycare for the day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you work with me on this or that? And like, we make sure to put those down. We write those down and we review that type of thing before we start the project, during the project, every day of that project. Mm-hmm. We do other things like preferred communication forms, where we go through and we make sure, hey, this is the contact info we have. This is how often we're going to be reaching out to you. This is, once a week, we're going to send you a text update and we're going to let you know, this is your estimated start date. Mm-hmm. Also the friendly reminder form. We go through this on every project. Things like taking valuables off the walls, making sure, because things are going to, we're going to be beating and pounding. We don't want anything to fall off the walls. If we're doing windows for somebody, take down the blinds.
Take out the screens if we're working around the windows.
Yeah, if we're working around the windows, take out the screens. We don't want those to tear. We do a color selection form. We make sure that everybody's on the same page of what every color is going to be on the project.
Yeah, there is no confusion about this or that. We make sure before we order the materials that this is the colors that we are going with, and you have selected them. That's why we always bring samples to this meeting, and we let them select them themselves.
Yeah, and that's why we want to be transparent and proactive communication with our customers, and we work very hard. Also, like, we're elite certifications and experts in what we do. We've been in business for over 10 years. I have over 25 years of experience in construction. Mm-hmm. And like with James Hardie, we're an elite contractor in the Alliance program. Owens Corning, we're a preferred contractor for roofing. We're Anderson certified for windows. We possess like specialized certified experience in installing high quality durable materials that are designed to like withstand the local climate. Like we only work here in Central Indiana. We don't work all over the country. And the reason we do this is we offer a lifetime workmanship warranty, which is pretty much unmatched in the market. Most other contractors, 2, 5, 10 years. What I believe and this has been this way since I started the company 10 years ago, is if we install this properly to the manufacturer's specifications, it shouldn't fall off. It shouldn't leak. You shouldn't have issues with your products. And if there are, then we're going to stand behind it. Like, nobody's perfect. There's humans involved in this process. Humans make mistakes. We're all human. We all make mistakes. What we do at UHQ is if we make a mistake, we stand behind it. And we do things like annual inspections to come out and check on projects. We do those randomly where we'll go, hey, we need to check in on the projects, because we don't want a small problem from a past project turn it into a big problem. And I don't know any other contractor in town that does annual inspections. Do you know any, Dave?
I'm unaware of it.
Yeah. So we try to be different there. And then the other thing which we talked about, which is we don't do high pressure sales, right? Like, Dave isn't a salesperson. Sometimes we use that term out of,
Just common parlance.
Common talk. But Dave's title is a project consultant, right? So no high pressure sales. I don't allow that. Not something that's ever going to be here in the company, because I don't want somebody to do high pressure sales on me or come to my house and do that to me. And we try to educate Dave, right? So Dave, when he first came to the company, he didn't know anything about construction. He didn't know anything about sales. He was perfect.
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
yeah. So we want to give you honest estimates. We want to give you options. We commonly are giving people multiple estimates, where a lot of our competition will give somebody like one estimate. We're going to give you multiple options because we want to help make sure this project fits into your budget, but also gets you what you want.
Yeah.
And we want to give you those options. And a lot of other companies I don't think they do that.
No, they just assume you're going to buy the cheapest thing, and that's what they quote for you. And then you don't know what you're getting until the project's completed. You're like, wait, that's not what I was expecting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've heard that out of so many customers, right? Where it's just like, yeah, well, they came out, but this isn't really what I wanted.
Yeah. I mean, and especially with, Hardie siding or with windows, like there's a ton of details that go into that. And we like to show people up front what they're getting. We ask them, different trim sizes, different profiles, different styles of windows and the options within those windows, the colors, the grids, all those things. They all add up to what your project actually is.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're, a lot of our customers call us because they go online, they see our reviews, they check out our website, maybe they see us on the YouTube channel or something like that, and they go, this is the kind of company I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody I can trust, that's an expert, and will do a good job for me. If that's something that you're looking for, give us a call. 317-884-3140. You can check out our website, unrushedhonestquality.com. We've got a Facebook page you can check out, but if you're thinking about doing a project, let us know. We would be happy to come out, give you an estimate, walk you through all of the details, and then that way you can have the time and the peace of mind to make the best decision for yourself. Because I think sometimes, we may not be the best fit for a homeowner, right? I just want the cheapest price possible, right? If that's the case, then we may not be the fit. But if you're not just looking for the cheapest price, you're looking for the most value, then I think that is a lot of times where we do fit in, because
Absolutely.
we're not necessarily the most expensive contractor in town.
Yeah.
We try to make it affordable, and we do have an estimate match guarantee.
So yeah, if you get a quote from someone else, and you're like, well, what is the difference between your quote and this quote? We'll make a match for you and tell you what they're doing, we're not, so on and so forth.
Yeah, or what's not specified in their estimate.
Yes.
So
if it's not in the estimate and you sign a contract that says that doesn't specify, then they don't technically have to do that.
yeah, 100%. And a paragraph and a price is not enough for doing projects that are over $10,000. I think when you're looking at a $10,000 budget, you could buy a used car for $10,000. So it's like,
one, but yeah,
it would be a great one. But a lot of projects can be more than that, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50
and up.
And up. I mean, we see multi six-figure projects where people are wanting to redo all their siding, all their windows on very large, nice houses. And we work on houses that are very modest houses, very small houses that have lower values on the home, but it's people's house. They want it to be nice. But either way, it's a lot of money. And if your contract with your contractor does not have a lot of details to make you go, I know what I'm getting,
They're probably not getting it.
You're probably not getting it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What kind of training do we do at UHQ Construction? Because this is one of the things that really sets us apart as a company. A lot of times other companies, they don't really do much training, if any.
Yeah. Especially on the products that we sell.
Especially on the products that we sell, right? Which is we do siding, windows, roofing, gutters. Roofing's an easy one to train on. It's pretty straightforward. Siding, James Hardie siding. Not an easy one to train on.
No.
I talked to the Hardie rep about this from time to time, and it's like training a sales rep to be really good at selling Hardie siding the right way can be a challenge.
And it could cost you a lot of money if he quotes jobs wrong.
Yeah, 100%. So we're going to talk about like what training we do. So first off, like we'll talk about what Dave does. Dave is a project consultant. Some people may call him a salesman, but we don't really have salesmen here at UHQ Construction because part of UHQ's philosophy is we don't do high pressure sales. And really, Dave is more of an order taker at the end of the day. Dave goes out, figure out what you're looking for, maybe gives you some suggestions, and then he usually puts together multiple options and multiple estimates and then presents them. And I can assure you, Dave doesn't do any high pressure sales.
No, I do not.
So when we have a project consultant come on, initial onboarding training takes about 3 months.
Yeah, it took me a while to catch on. I had no construction experience before this, or sales experience.
Yeah.
So it was mainly about learning about the products that we actually sell, how to quote them, and then how to present them to the customer.
Absolutely. So, we've put together training videos here. So we have over 100 training videos that we use for people that come on the team to be able to watch and just kind of start to get like a baseline of like, what do we do? How do we do it? Here's what you need to be aware of.
Yeah.
And then we do ride-alongs. So I remember when Dave started, he used to ride along with me.
Yeah.
And we would go out and I'd be like, all right, so here's what I'm going to do. And here's the forms that I fill out. And, so then there's that training. Mm-hmm. Also, like, we do a weekly trainings every single week for our project consultants to make sure that we can get them as up to date as possible. Cause like Dave's not putting up siding, right?
I am not.
And like some people, you want like, oh, the person selling it to like know what they're talking about, obviously.
Yeah.
So like we are constantly trying to work with Dave on, hey, here's what's going on with this project. Like here's a project you sold, which is another aspect of the training. When we sell a project, we go out with production, and me, myself as the owner, I go out to a lot of these jobs and I look through the job and I go, okay, here's what we sold them. What are we doing?
Where's it going?
Where's it? Yeah. Where's what going?
Yeah.
And, a lot of times it's Dave out there. And so Dave will be out there with me and we go through all the details,
Yep.
Right? What are they getting? What are they not getting? Because maybe we've quoted like 3 different options, but that's a great time for me to train Dave and go, hey man, you see this here? Like that's something you should look for in the future or in the past. Cause like every house is different. Like as much as people want to be like, oh yeah, I mean, it's just a house, right? Like it's just siding, right? Like there's a lot of nuances to siding. As a guy who's been in this for 25 years, had this business for 10 years as a 5-star rated company, there are so many details when it comes to siding, windows, roofing, and gutters. And so that's why I go to pretty much every single job we do, is because I want to make sure it's right. And then that gives me that opportunity to like work with Dave and say, hey, Dave, here's something you want to look at for next time, or watch this. This is what we want to expect. So we do training on every single job that we get. And we take those back to the weekly meetings, or like even after we start into a job, something comes up I don't expect. Cause like we don't know what we're going to find until we tear off. So then I can go back to Dave and be like, hey, Dave, here's what we found. Like here's
what to look for. Like,
here's
there was a second layer of siding. Here's a spot that you probably should have known there's going to be rotten wood there, or sheathing or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just don't know. So, so we're constantly doing training on the front end for the people who are going to quote the projects. And then we have crew training. I take a lot of pride in this because I've worked for many companies and very large companies, and like they would just recruit crews and basically put them out on jobs. it was crazy. Like, and we still see it. Like, it may even be more common now than it was prior to 10 years of me starting this business.
Yeah.
And so like with any crew or anybody on our crews, they have to come into the office and we do a formal in-office training. We have a PowerPoint deck that we go through where we set expectations. And we just make sure like, hey, let's cover the broad strokes of all of that. And then we do like first board, first nail. So if we've got a new person on the crew or whatever, at that point, we're going to go out there and be there like, hey, you know, we're with you this whole step of the way, because the last thing we want is a homeowner to get a bad project.
Yeah. I mean, and in the end, it's, you know, it's saving us money, to make sure it's installed right from the beginning. Because if we install wrong, then we have to take those materials off and restart.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I was talking to one of our production managers the other day, and it was just like, because we are so, we check on our jobs so much more than other contractors. Well, we're that much more thorough because we're not going to let stuff fall through the cracks because we're constantly checking on projects every single day. Yeah. And so with that point made, like we do ongoing daily trainings with all the crews, anybody on the crews, we're constantly, hey, here's something you want to look for. Here's how you want to do it. And we get out there and we work with them to make sure that it gets done in the right way. I go out there as the owner. I mean, I love it. I wish actually that's where I could spend all of my time is just with the crews doing the work. But unfortunately, that's not how business works. But we spent a lot of time training with our guys and the crews, and then production. I mean, so you've got the crews and you got the production managers, right? These are the guys that are the field managers or office managers, and these are guys that schedule the jobs, order the jobs, things like that. And again, there's the initial onboarding, which takes about 3 months. There's the training videos that they're going to watch, over 100 training videos. And then it's, same thing. Like there's going to be ride-alongs where they've got to learn each step of the process. And then again, we do weekly trainings in production, same way we do in the sales side of things. We do that in production as well. Every week it's looking through, hey, what are we doing well? Where can we improve? What happened in this situation? How can we make that go better? Yeah. And so again, that's an ongoing daily thing. I mean, every day I touch base with our production managers and I say, hey, where are we at with everything? Okay. Hey, here's an opportunity to get better. Yeah. So I like to think that our training is so in depth because in my opinion, training is how we prevent mistakes. Like humans are involved, mistakes happen. None of us are perfect. Yeah. But how do we try to prevent as many of those mistakes as possible? And I think we try to do our best. What do you think, Dave?
I mean, yeah, I've been with the company for 6 years. I came in as a blank slate. And now I'm a James Hardie expert. I am a window expert. And, I still make mistakes. And you always teach me new things. But I feel like I'm way less likely to make a mistake now than I was certainly 6 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so much to learn. Look, I've been in this business 25 years. I put on my first roof when I was 13 on the family farm. One of the bars, got to do another bar next year. When I was 15, I started working for my buddy's dad, doing exterior remodels and things of that nature. I still learn stuff. Yeah. I'm constantly learning, and it gives us the chance to grow as a company when we're all open to learning. They always say you don't want to be the smartest person in the room, right? But it's like, just being open to
new ideas,
being able to learn, that's why I go to conferences. I'm training all the time too, as the owner. I'm always meeting with the manufacturers. What's the best practices? How, what can we do to be better as a company? Because look, we're 10 years into this game. I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. Like I love what I do.
People ask us all the time, like you have a lifetime warranty. What does that mean? Are you going to be around in this? I'm like, we're 39 years old. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no kidding. Like I got a bit of time before I can retire, but I like what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm one of those people that probably work till I'm dead. Yeah. Yeah. So what are the options? So there's like 3 main options when you're having issues with your siding. Okay. So we're going to talk about that here in a second. Basically, you do nothing, repair or replace. Mm-hmm. If we want to make it as simple as possible, we'll dig in a little bit deeper. It's really common. A lot of homeowners here in central Indiana have issues with their siding from time to time. Maybe it's due to the age of the home, storm damage, things of those nature. Some of the common things would be rotten wood.
Yep. Woodpecker holes, leaks.
Yeah, leaks, peeling paint, missing siding. Siding blows off with the wind, or just age,
Or hail damage, and
or bad installation.
see that quite a bit.
Yeah. And then you may have like old vinyl siding that's like brittle or faded, algae covered siding that like it's been on there so long you can't get the algae off of it anymore.
I've seen that.
Yeah, it happens from time to time. So lots of reasons why people may have issues with their siding. So option number one, people, you're going to think this sounds crazy, but like all too many times, this is what people choose. They do nothing.
Yes.
Right. So
Isn't it more than half the times?
yeah, I mean, it probably is. It is the least expensive.
That's it. You're saving. Well, for the moment, you are.
Yeah. Least expensive option, do nothing. Right. And so like, why does that happen though? Right. Like we say, like this happens more than people would think. Unless you've gotten quotes on siding before, and then you may know exactly why this happens, right? Like there's the overwhelm. Like most people are going to try to get like multiple estimates. They get like 3 estimates, maybe 8 or 10 estimates. We've seen.
You might get estimates from 3 companies and end up with, 10, 15 estimates total.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it just becomes overwhelming. Like I have all these options. I'm not sure what to choose. I want the one with the lowest price, but I want the highest quality. And those are 2 different estimates. And it becomes kind of like jarring.
Yeah. I mean, who among us is a siding expert besides people who actually sell and install siding?
Yeah, absolutely. And so like, one of the challenges of not doing anything for your siding is
Problems are only going to get worse.
they're going to get worse. Like we see it, like we get people like, hey, I'm thinking about it. Sometimes the reason people don't do it is because of the price, right? Like it's just not in the budget. Got to figure out if we're going to get a loan. We do offer financing to our customers, but some people got to figure out like how they're going to pay for it. And so sometimes you got to put it off for a little bit, to figure out how much it's going to cost.
But what are you risking when you do that?
I mean, if you're asking me, you're risking paying more money later due to inflation, right? A lot of people get this confused. Like during COVID, like the price of lumber went up and then it came back down.
Yeah.
There was still inflation. I mean, we were buying sheets of OSB for like $8 a sheet before COVID. COVID happened. We paid as much as like $60 a sheet.
I got to 65.
And even now, like it fluctuates around $17 to $20 a sheet.
Yeah.
So the price of a sheet of OSB has doubled in 5 years.
And that's more of a commodity.
And that's a commodity, right?
Yeah.
When you talk about siding that's manufactured by publicly traded companies like James Hardie, CertainTeed, or windows like Anderson Windows, Owens Corning Roofing, those are not commodities. When that inflation happens, they increase their prices typically 3 to 8% a year.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do that, those prices never come back down again.
No.
And during COVID, they were doing like multiple increases in a year.
Yeah.
And so people ask us all the time, like, Corey, who's your biggest competition? And I tell them like, Time's the biggest competition. Somebody calls us one year and they ask for a quote on their siding or the roofing, windows, gutters, whatever it is. And we give them a quote and they call us back next year and they go, I'm ready. And I go, great, let me adjust your estimate based off the new pricing. They go, what new pricing? Well, we got a price increase from our manufacturers. And, we have to continue to pay our employees and crews more over time too, because cost of living's going up.
Yeah.
And so then we send it back over and they go, oh, okay, well, I'm still ready to go, but I wasn't expecting the price to go up, And so we do our best.
I try to tell everyone I speak to when we expect price increase.
Yeah, we do try to be very clear. Our estimates are good for 30 days unless they're around a price increase time. If price increase happens, but we typically know when those are coming. We let people know, hey, you're going to want to buy. Like typically before the end of the year.
Yes.
That's generally the best time to lock in the price for the next year. Usually we'll like lower deposits that people are required to help it make it as affordable as possible for them. But yeah, prices go up. So if you do nothing, things can get worse and it can cost more later. So option number 2, when you're having issues with your siding,
Repair.
we do a repair.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So repairs are better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's due to the budget. That's what people do. They say, hey, I'm going to do a repair. I don't have the money to replace all my siding. I just want to kind of temporarily.
And we're happy
fix
to
it.
quote it that way. And, a lot of people will do one portion of their siding, like the actual siding and trim, and then they'll do their soffits, fascias, gutters, and another project a year later, 2 years later, whatever it is.
Absolutely. We do siding repairs, just so you know. So if you need a siding repair, give us a call. Ultimately, siding repairs, when you're having issues with your siding, can cost more long-term than short-term. So we do try to be upfront with people about that, especially if like your siding's older, like 20 or 30-year-old siding, like it's at the end of its life. So if you start doing repairs there, it's like having a car that you drive every day and it's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you got a 20-year-old car that you drive every single day, there's maintenance on it, right? Like the shock's got to be replaced. The brakes are going to have to be replaced. Like you're going to have to get fuel filters, right? Like, yeah, there's the oil changes, but there's maintenance on it. We're like a new car. If you buy a new car, I mean, there's going to be the oil changes, but you don't have to replace the brakes all the time. Like, yeah, there's going to be a period of time and you're going to have to do it, but new cars, you're going to have a bit of a payment with them, but you're going to have less maintenance.
Yeah, you're starting from a baseline of new.
Yeah, 100%. So it's the same thing with siding. Like if you're going to try to maintain 20 or 30-year-old siding, it's going to cost more long-term trying to maintain that than it would to just replace your siding.
And just like with car repairs, the repair is never going to be as good as a brand new component.
Oh, 100%, right? And so typically with siding, like repairs only last a few years.
Yeah, and then usually you're trying to paint to match, and paint 4 to 7 years at most.
Yeah. Sometimes repairs don't look that great.
Yeah, they never look as good as replacing it.
Yeah, like fitting in some like wood siding where something else is, like it never matches up quite the same.
We have this neighborhood in Carmel where the people who live there keep on asking us to do repair, and they discontinued the siding because it was a class action lawsuit.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, and one thing we don't want you to do, don't paint your vinyl siding.
Yes, under no circumstance.
Yeah, we're not a fan of that. Like vinyl is a thermoplastic. It expands and contracts with the temperature. So it makes it really hard for paint to stick. I remember the Sherwin-Williams rep called me like 6 or 7 years ago and they go, hey, what kind of paint do you use when you're painting vinyl siding? I say, we don't paint vinyl siding. It's a thermoplastic, expands and contracts. The paint will never stick. He goes, oh, no wonder we're having so many issues with these paint jobs that contractors are doing on vinyl siding.
Yeah.
Now they have a paint that's engineered for vinyl siding.
Still wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, well, we've seen too many houses, especially when they paint them dark colors.
Oh yeah.
The dark color absorbs the heat and like warps the panel, disfigures it, melts it. So don't do that. But repairs are possible. Good way to kind of kick it down the road. I think always thing you want to consider when you're thinking about repairs is how old is all of this siding on my house? At what point am I going to need to replace this?
But feel free to call us and have us come out and look at it. There's no project too small that we won't quote.
100%. 100%. And then option number 3, right? This is typically the best option for older homes, which is a full replacement. Or if you get a bad install, I mean, we see these too where it's not that old. But, homeowners choose this option. They want to replace it for 3 main reasons. I want it to look good. I want it to be durable. And I don't want to have to do anything to it later, right? Which isn't 100% realistic. Everything has maintenance, but you can get a lot lower maintenance with a newer product.
And also get everything on the same maintenance cycle. So you're not having one part breaking down while the rest of it's still in good shape.
Yeah, 100%. So on the design side of it, I mean, look, I don't know anybody that owns a home that doesn't take pride in their home, right? Like, this is my home. I'm proud of it. It's typically people's largest investment. It's a reflection of who we are. When we look at like our house, our siding, our roof, our windows, our gutters, like it's a reflection of who we are. So like when we get home, it's nice to pull up to a house that like the siding's not falling off or rotten or woodpeckers or, you know,
or it just has a good design, looks good.
Yeah. So we want it to look good. Also, like if you're going to have your family, your friends, your coworker, again, representation of who you are. Our customers say, I want my house to look good. I want it to look good when I get home. I want it to look good when I have friends and family over for Thanksgiving and Christmas and the cookouts and whatever it is, birthday parties. They want it to look good.
Yeah. And a lot of times people have a design in mind. You know, they buy a home already that already looks a certain way, and they have a design in mind that they want to change it to. And replacing your siding is typically the only way to change the design.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Other thing people really are big about when they're getting new siding is I want it to be durable,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I want it to hold up. Like in central Indiana, we have hail, high winds. We have a freeze thaw cycle. So like our climate has some challenges to it. And you know, if you've got like drafty walls, I know that sounds crazy, but like especially a lot of these vinyl houses, like the wind will blow right around the vinyl siding.
Or you can just hear it rattling against the wall.
Rattling against the wall too. So like, you know, people want a durable product. They want something that's going to last, and like woodpeckers aren't going to peck it. Bugs aren't going to eat it,
Yes.
right? Like I think woodpeckers are one of our top salespeople.
The top salesperson.
Yeah, Woody Woodpecker works for UHQ Construction.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, I mean, that's one of the main reasons people buy Hardie siding from us is woodpeckers won't peck it, bugs won't eat it. It comes with a warranty, class 4 impact rated. Some insurance companies will offer discounts for that. It's a great product.
Yeah, and you know, we specialize in the Color Plus, which comes pre-finished, lowers the maintenance.
Yeah.
Allows
Which is the next reason, right? Like
Yeah.
people want low maintenance when
Yeah.
they buy, when they're looking at, hey, what are my options when I do my siding? I don't want to have to keep doing things to it, right? Like I want it pre-painted.
Yeah.
Like who goes and buys a brand new car and is like, I'm going to paint it in my driveway to save some money, right? Like,
Yeah. It certainly won't be less expensive, and it certainly won't look as good as if they painted it in the factory.
yeah, it's just not going to last as long. In the factory, they got the climate control, the multiple coat process. With James Hardie, they bake it onto the product, so it's like cooked in multiple coats.
And it's super consistent. Like you compare a primed and painted job next to a pre-finished job, and you're going to see the difference.
Yeah, and I think a lot of customers, it's like when they're looking at it, it's like, I want low maintenance. Like I don't want to have to keep putting time and money into fixing my siding year after year after year after year after year. And you see it a lot in the homeowners who've owned homes for multiple years, or maybe they've been a homeowner. Maybe like the home they're in isn't like the house they've lived in for more than a couple of years, but like they've owned multiple homes and they're like, I don't want to have to keep fixing this siding all the time. Like I'd like to enjoy my weekend golfing or with my kids or with my family, things like that. And they don't want to be spending all their time and their money.
And also, they don't want to get on ladders anymore.
Oh,
I hear that a
dangerous.
lot.
Oh, it's so dangerous. So dangerous. If you are getting on a ladder, public service announcement, there should be somebody there holding that ladder for you.
Yes.
You should not be getting up there alone. But we digress. So 3 options when you're looking at replacing your siding. If you've got siding issues, you can do nothing, you can repair, or you can select a trusted professional to install a low maintenance product. So what are your options when it comes to replacing your siding in central Indiana? What are the options? Like what kind of siding options are there? We get this question like all too commonly, like homeowners say, I think I want some James Hardie siding, but like, what are some other options? Or like, I've got vinyl, but like, I don't like that. Like, what are other options?
Yeah, or they just have no idea what what exists or what they want.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So we've been in business over 10 years. We focus on siding. I've been in the industry for 25 years. I've got a ton of experience. Dave's been doing this for 6 years now. He has a ton of experience. So we're going to talk about like what are the options when it comes to replacing your siding. We're going to start with lowest cost and we're going to go up to like the higher cost products. And we're just going to try to talk you through the options and like what are some of the pros and cons of those options. So least expensive, which you see the most of here in central Indiana, is vinyl siding.
Yes. Yeah, it's better than doing nothing.
Better than doing nothing. There's tons of options in vinyl sidings. The thicknesses can change. You can do a foam back.
Different profiles.
There are limited amounts of colors. Like they've come out with more over the years.
If you want black, you cannot. That does not.
Yeah,
exist.
don't do black because it'll like warp and melt.
Yeah.
So what are some benefits of vinyl siding? Like,
it immediately make your house look better.
yeah, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Especially you got like old siding and you're on a really tight budget. Maybe your siding's falling off your house. Like it's definitely better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. It's the most economical, right? Like we said, we started with the lowest price. It's, got an affordable entry point to it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who use it in a setting where like, yeah, they do have a limited budget and, maybe they have a layer of siding that they have below, old wood siding. You can still install vinyl siding on top of it. Not highly recommended, but it is a possibility.
It is a possibility. Maybe it's a rental house.
Yeah.
Maybe it's your starter house. It's not your forever home. Maybe you just live in a neighborhood that everybody's got vinyl. And so you don't necessarily want to upgrade to the next level, but you want new siding because yours is failing.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense to upgrade, and it's a great option for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, some of the cons against vinyl siding is it is a petroleum-based product, right? So it can fluctuate with price. Once it gets older, that petroleum base kind of evaporates off and it becomes brittle.
Yes.
Right. It is a thermoplastic. So thermoplastics expand and contract with temperature. So like when somebody nails up vinyl siding, there's like an oblong hole you nail in the middle of, and that allows the siding to move because it's going to expand and contract on the wall. So it's not always like the most like, it's not sealed up very well. It has a high air infiltration rating, as we call it in the industry.
Even with the foam backing.
Yeah. And like we said, like it can get brittle in the cold, but it also just gets brittle with age.
Yes. As the petroleum leaches off, it becomes brittle. And it also fades.
Yeah, it certainly does fade. It can fade pretty quickly.
Yes. If you go with a dark color, even if it has some kind of UV whatever
inhibitor,
they advertise it and it costs more. But it's still plastic that fades, and there's no way to correct that. You can't paint it.
And in the fine print of those warranties, like they say, like, well, the warranty doesn't cover normal fading.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, just fading. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's only certain color options. And then like the other thing you gotta be careful of, we see a lot of is like it melts and like warps. So like somebody puts their grill too close to it.
See this
all of a sudden the siding, like it doesn't have to be next to it, just close to it, and it can like warp the siding.
So if you have vinyl siding, keep your grill at least 10, 20 feet away from your
at
house.
least 10 feet away.
Yeah.
And then windows. So we see this commonly. We see this more and more as they put neighborhoods where like tons of vinyl houses are next to each other, where like the light will like reflect off the window.
Yeah, the UV coating.
Yeah, and then it will melt. It'll like warp the siding or melt the vinyl siding. We saw it recently on a house where its own windows in like this corner, its own windows were like melting its own siding.
Yeah, and I've seen it from one neighbor's house to the other. It essentially created a death ray down the side of this guy's house. He's like, what can I do? Like, well, I certainly wouldn't go back with vinyl siding, at least on this side of the house. But, what are you going to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's vinyl siding, first option. Next option, not going to be an option that we really recommend to customers.
No.
It'd be wood composite. If you're not familiar with wood composite, like this would be like maybe like some people call it like LP or Smart Side is the only company that really sells this product in our market. We call it chipboard. Basically what it is they mill lumber and they take those scraps from the lumber and then they like glue those together they glue a piece of paper to the front, and then they paint it. So like if you've ever had cheap furniture, and you spill a drink on the particle board wood and it like swells up, this would be similar to that. Like they say it's meant for exteriors, but like they've had multiple class action lawsuits over the years, like because it like will delaminate.
And then once it delaminates, that's a chink in the armor, and it just swells and
chips,
wicks from there.
Yeah. So
the only time I ever quote it is if I have to match something that already exists.
Yeah, if you've got like your home builder put on some LP, but like even some of those times we will still quote Hardie, and
I'll show them the difference in texture. And typically people can live with the difference.
Yeah. It does expand and contract. It requires a lot of maintenance. I mean, you have to get it painted like constantly. Yeah. It has a depreciating warranty on it.
Yeah.
So they say, oh, it's a 50-year warranty. Well, that 50-year warranty starts to depreciate after like year 5.
And I think by 10, isn't it almost like half?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's wood composite. We're not big fans of it. We don't really push it at UHQ. After that, then in order of price, next up would be real wood.
Cedar. Yeah.
You get the real wood look because it's real wood.
Most of the time. But yeah, it also is impact resistant. We learned this one. If you live on a golf course, it's a great alternative.
It is. Yeah, it may be more maintenance, but at the end of the day, like
vinyl or any other product is going to get a hole in it.
If you're a golfer, you're going to understand what we're talking about. If you're golfing and 150 yards off the tee box to the right or left is a house, those houses get hit with golf balls.
Yes.
And if you don't know that, now you do. So sometimes wood siding is good for that option.
Yeah.
Some of the cons.
It's expensive.
Yeah, cedar has gotten very expensive since COVID.
And the quality of it has diminished as well.
Yeah, the quality has gone down quite a bit. Like the whole supply, the chain of cedar like got depleted during COVID. So it's all very fresh and it hasn't like dried well, and then it's like warped and crooked, or it gets put up and then it warps and gets crooked.
In the last 30, 40 years, there's been regulations on how you can treat that wood to make it last like it used to.
Yeah. And there's no warranty, right? Like manufacturer of wood is still Mother Nature,
yes.
Right? Like it's going to go to a sawmill, somebody's going to cut, but there's no warranty like against chips and cracks and rotten wood and woodpeckers.
End of the day, eventually a woodpecker is going to go after it.
Yeah, 100%. And you're gonna have to keep painting it. That's one thing that's like I think a misconception with people in wood is we see it at people's houses all the time.
They think they never need to paint.
Yeah. It's like when was the last time you painted? 15 years ago.
Well, we can tell.
Yeah. So now that all the wood is moist. Mm-hmm. And the paint won't adhere again properly once that wood underneath gets the moisture. So you gotta make sure you keep it painted. Yeah, for sure. So there's another option. There's wood. Then we go on. In order of price would be stucco and ephes.
Not really recommended for our climate, but it will give you a unique look.
Yeah, absolutely. There are some houses that helps give it the design aspect. We worked on some of those. It's not recommended for our climate.
No,
we don't have a great climate for it because of the freeze thaw cycle. Woodpeckers peck it.
It can
crack.
It can cause mold to build up behind it.
Yeah, a lot of times when you have to take off a lot of ephes because it's failing, there's mold remediation that needs to happen. So that can be kind of a pain.
Yeah.
And then stone veneer.
Yeah, so we use a product called Versetta Stone.
Versetta Stone, yeah.
So it's stone. It's real stone that's set on a panel that installs like siding, kind of.
Yeah.
It's installed to your framing with a sheathing behind it. It looks really good. It's great for accents like knee walls and like gables and stuff like that. But yeah, it costs less than real stone, but it's still not cheap.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, we did leave one out, actually. We skipped over one when we went in order of price. This is probably just over the vinyl and wood composite area price, which is fiber cement.
Yes, James Hardie fiber cement side.
James Hardie fiber cement. We saved the best for last.
Yeah. Well, we could do a whole video just on this.
Yeah, we certainly could. We probably will at some point. So Fiber cement is more expensive than vinyl, but a lot of times the reason people choose it is it's the best option for our climate. It has a good real wood look. It's durable, low maintenance, comes with a 30-year warranty, 15-year finish warranty. Great product.
Absolutely. And, the biggest thing that we see is, people who have wood currently on their house, this is the best thing to replace it with because of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that fiber cement is probably the best option. It's not the cheapest. It's not the most expensive either. Like, it's definitely less expensive than stucco, typically cedar.
If you can find enough
stone
cedar
veneer.
siding to put on a house right now, good luck.
Well, that's in good quality.
Yeah.
So it's a great product. Fiber cement is a great way to go. Typically, it's James Hardie siding. There are some knockoffs in fiber cement, but 90% of fiber cement sold in our market is James Hardie fiber cement.
Yeah. They're the number one siding company in America. They invented it, about 40 years ago.
Yeah.
We see the stuff that they invented 30, 40 years ago. It still looks good. But in that time period, they spent a ton of money, not just to improve how the boards are made, but also how it's installed. So, you can know that that 30-year warranty is going to actually be a 30-year warranty.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you want to avoid having to continue to have issues with your siding, one of the best solutions you can have that give you peace of mind is going to be James Hardie siding. What is the UHQ Construction service area and why? So, like, what areas does UHQ Construction serve? What's our service area? And so, UHQ Construction, we serve homeowners in central Indiana. We work up to 60 miles typically. Now, it's not an exact mileage, but about 60 miles outside of 465. So we cover central Indiana. We offer siding, windows, roofing, and gutters. Doors. Don't forget about doors. We typically work on residential homes. We do some commercial and multifamily, but we primarily focus on residential homes for homeowners. Dave, why is it that we go so far out?
Well, a big thing that I've noticed and we've noticed in the time we've been in business is that there's not a lot of quality contractors in the smaller towns and cities that are in the perimeter of our service area. And it gives us an opportunity to come in and do a good job for someone that they wouldn't even be able to do otherwise with a local contractor from their area.
Yeah, we get a lot of those calls, maybe West Lafayette, Richmond, Terre Haute, Muncie, Bloomington, Kokomo, where it's like, we don't really have like a great James Hardie contractor here, or we don't have like a certified Anderson contractor, or a good roofing contractor that we can trust in the area. And they give us a call. They find our reviews. They say, we want somebody, we have 2 offices, one in Carmel, one in Greenwood. So typically it's actually not just 465. It's about 60 miles from our offices that we'll go.
Yeah.
And for us to drive from one office to the other is about an hour.
Yeah.
So for us, if we're going to go 60 miles across town to our offices, like, why can't we go 60 miles further south of Greenwood? Sometimes that's Columbus, right? Yeah. Or go north of Carmel up to Kokomo or to West Lafayette, right? Like, we're here to serve.
And I say that, the biggest reason people call us from those areas is because they have a higher end home and they're wanting higher end products on it. And they want to know if they're going to pay for these products to be installed, that it's installed right, and that they're not going to have issues down the road.
Why is it important to know how long your construction company that you're looking at quoting, how long have they been in business? Well, I've got some statistics here, Dave.
Let's hear them.
We find these, we kind of did a little bit of research because it varies. Like, I mean, there's not like one ultimate like source for this. So we found some ranges.
Yeah.
So, and some of these like really relate to like roofing and construction companies. So 56 to 80% of companies go out of business in the first 2 years. That's a majority. A majority of these businesses go out in the first 2 years. Then we found statistics that say 90 to 96%. So all but 4% go out of business in the first 5 years.
So it's almost all.
Almost all of them, all but 4% of them. And 99%, all but 1%, go out of business in the first 10 years.
Wow. Dude, so we beat the odds.
We beat the odds. We're the 1%er here at UHQ Construction. So 10 years is an important benchmark for construction companies, roofing companies, exterior contracting companies. This is super important for you to look for as a homeowner because it shows a track record.
And also, like, you know, if someone's offering you a warranty on the work, like if they're not around, who's the warranty with?
100%. You know, everybody's all familiar with the Better Business Bureau, right? The watchdog of the industry, the Better Business Bureau. They've had over 10 million complaints against contractors alone. And what they found is a majority of the time, homeowners take the lowest bid and they have issues getting their project completed. So if you're taking the lowest bid, a majority of the time, your project's not getting done.
Well, that's not even, accounting for whether it's done right or if it looks good or it's what you wanted.
Yeah, it doesn't account for any of that. It's just like, is the project like even getting done?
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't heard a horror story, or if you haven't had a horror story with a contractor, you know somebody who has.
Yeah.
Right? It's just all too common in the construction space. You know, there's a lot of guys where it's like, I've been in business for 20 years. Have you been in the business for 20 years or been in business for 20 years? Like, you can look the companies up and see how long a company's been in business.
Yeah.
You know, and today it's getting more transparent with like Google reviews. You can't take down the Google reviews. So that helps show that they have good reviews.
Yeah.
Right? Like if this business has been in business for 20 years and they have 2 Google reviews, that might be a red flag.
Yeah. What exactly have they been doing?
Yeah. What should you be looking for? Yeah. And that's one of the things, like, why does it matter how long a construction company has been in business? How do you watch out for the red flags so you don't get duped by one of these contractors that takes your money and runs and doesn't even do the work or doesn't finish the work if they start, right?
Yeah. And, you know, if you have an issue down the road, are they going to be there to stand behind it?
Yeah, because the main thing you want, if you're going to hire a contractor, is you want to be able to trust that it's going to get done right and you can have some peace of mind throughout the project, right?
Yeah. Are you trying to lower your risk?
Yeah, I mean, that's why a lot of our customers call us at UHQ Construction. We've been in business for 10 years. We have tons of 5-star reviews between our 2 offices, Carmel and Greenwood. So a lot of people call us for estimates. You know, if you want an estimate, you can give us a call, 317-884-3140. Happy to come out and give you an estimate and take a look at your project. You can check us out on our website.
We're also an A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau.
A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Never had a Better Business Bureau complaint.
Yep.
So we work very hard to be honest and do a good quality job for people. So, you know, check us out. If you're interested in a quote, you can give us a call. Happy to help. If you like this video, like, subscribe, check out our Facebook, Instagram. If there's something else you want to hear a video about, or if you found this helpful, let us know in the comments. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you understand now how important it is to make sure you know how long the contractor has been in business. I'm not saying if you haven't been in business for very long doesn't mean they're a bad contractor. We all had to start somewhere.
Yes.
But you can lower your risk by choosing a contractor that's been in business for over 10 years.
Correct.
So thanks for watching.